YouTube, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Zapped here for another Zapped Sunday. Today, we're just going to be talking about sports betting. I've recently gotten into sports betting, not too much, but as I'm recording this, I'm thinking of an absolutely devious parlay. We'll see if I actually place it, though. I just wanted to talk about sports betting because I find it very interesting. Because I watch sports, and oddly enough, it's gotten me into certain sports that I didn't watch that when I was younger, when I wasn't betting on them, like college football. I always knew it was a thing, but I didn't know you could bet so easily on it, and I think that's kind of just changed with the times. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, let's talk about sports betting because it really has changed. In my experience, sports betting was a form of gambling that was rare and somewhat of a process to do. You'd have to typically go someplace and uh, be a process of, hey, I got a $50, $100, $1,000 bet. I want to place it. There'd be a teller, almost essentially like a bank. But that's really changed due to technology. It's way faster, way flashier, and honestly way more addictive. I'm going to break down some points, go through how it's kind of reshaped itself, and it's kind of reshaped how my whole generation will be doing all of our betting. So sports betting has moved directly straight into our phones. You can go on just like that, boom, go in, and boom, make a bet just like that, all of 5 seconds. You don't really need to plan that trip that I was talking about. You don't have to really do anything. And this convenience does sound great, but there's no friction. There's no thinking process beforehand. What that really can imply is that you download the app, you link your bank account, you can start betting. All within, depends on how fast you're typing, 5 minutes or less. Now, the next goal is really, what can I win? How much can I win? What are my odds? So on and so forth. And this is big because you can bet on realistically anything. It's rapid fire, dopamine on demand. It's like, what if we just made a slot machine right into your phone? As simple as that. What if, hey, one bet won't really hurt? I think that can really make some people lose money quite fast. These apps study you like any app should. It'll know what your favorite teams are, how much you can bet, how regularly you bet, and it probably even knows as soon as you pick up the phone what few apps you go on to before their sporting book. Quite frankly, ever since I've downloaded my one sports betting app, I've gotten so many, let's say, unrelated ads, or no, not unrelated, related ads on other apps like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and I couldn't really tell you why, other than they all kind of talk to each other. We all kind of know that, I hope. Many people first entering sports betting, such as myself, rarely ever look at the odds. I know the odds because I know the sports that I bet on. But if you're just starting sports betting and you don't know the sport, you don't know how odd it would be to bet on someone like a lineman trying to get a touchdown or a center hitting a 3-point. It's all just concepts. And these concepts have money lines to them. This money line often, at least those two that I just described to you, would have higher odds of winning. This doesn't really click that, hey, this really probably won't happen. But if it did, I'd get $100. And if I only put down $5, woohoo. That thinking of what I can gain versus the odds of it actually happening rarely ever click for your typical gambler. Next, I will talk about those notifications, just like I was talking about earlier. Notifications. You're minding your business, doing something productive, when suddenly, just boom, odds boosted. Instantly back in. You at least check it out. Go on. Oh, this line that was at plus 200 is at plus 400 now. I can make even more money. Last chance. Let me make this bet. These things pop up like all the time. And they're designed to pull you back in. As soon as you're probably just done, you're like, oh, I'm not going to bet this week, this month. Boom. That notification pops up. And that little bit of, what if I did this? What if starts going off, and you could make some money, but the odds have been boosted for a reason. It's often more likely than not that bet is even harder to make. Now there are some chances that, hey, it hits because X, Y, and Z factors happen. That's why they want you to get into it, but that's very rare. Next, I'll be talking about the gamification of betting apps, because they truly have turned into many of like our most popular video games. It's streaks, levels, badges, confetti when you win. It feels like you're doing something really skillful, something really cool. And in the back end, the odds are truly not in your favor. And you'll never really know. This, along with like instant deposits, one-tap money files out of your bank account, just going boom, 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 as soon as you're doing a bet, way too seamless. In the blink of an eye, you're betting maybe $1, maybe $5, and boom, you're out 50. Boom, you're out 500. And over time, you keep doing that, you're out of thousands. Some people can afford that, some people can't. So you got to be kind of careful with that. I've personally have only bet about $100 of my own money. Obviously didn't win anything, but that was over the span of about August to now. We're in December. So not to pat myself on the back or anything like that, but $100 over that amount of months, over fair bets that just lose, I'm okay with losing that. But, you know, there's a stopping point that I had to hit where I was thinking, why am I not hitting these bets? And oftentimes, even if it was close, my parlay or whatever bet I set was never really going to happen because I'm betting $2,000. You got to really limit and scale your bet. Oftentimes, I think of the endless choices that you get in betting and how that one simple sport has so many things that could happen in it that it's often mind-boggling and very distracting. And like I said previously, you're oftentimes, just like myself, looking to make some type of money. And once again, you don't quite look at the grand scheme of things that would have to line up to make that money. To go along with that, the endless options. You can bet on the big time sports, NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL. You can bet on all of that. Then you can bet on UFC fights, you can bet on table tennis, you can bet on water polo, for crying out loud. You can bet on literally anything and everything. So, you got to be careful. You got to know your sport that you're betting on. You got to know the probability. And oftentimes, only so much can happen in a game. One big topic that is very in your face and apparent to today's actions is how much social media hype sports betting has gotten. Everyone's posting their crazy parlays, their big wins. $5 wins you 5,000. No one really posts about, oh, I bet 1,000 and lost all of that money, or I bet $5 and lost that $5, and I've continued to do that. But oh, look, like I said, I've bet this $5, won 50,000. Here's how you can do it. Oftentimes, those are maybe not setups, but very lucky and or one in, if I were to place a generous number, 10,000, 1 in 10,000 odds that happened. And, great for them. Heck, I'd like to do that, but that is very rare. You kind of get like a dopamine hit, obviously, when you win. It wants you to keep on going. You get a euphoric sense of, oh my gosh, I've done something really well. I picked the right things. I did the right actions. That's why I got this money. Which is cool to a degree. But like I said, you really gotta get lucky when you hit those really big parlays or really big bets. Oftentimes, you're looking at these social media platforms and social media celebrities, so on and so forth. They're getting paid to tell you to bet, plain and simple. So they've got their money. When you enter their promo code, as soon as you see their ad, you're getting them money. And oftentimes these promo codes are like, oh, you bet today, you bet $5, you get $100 back in bonus bets. Bonus bets aren't actual cash. It's not like you bet $5, you get $100 back to you. It's essentially a credit. This credit goes onto your account. You're able to use that money to bet on whatever you would like. I've personally used that, and that's why I've only spent about 100. In 100 of my own money, and then 100 of this bonus bets. Neither one really cashed out, but it's really intriguing because you're betting so little to, in theory, get so much, which kind of, tricks our brain into thinking, oh, why not do it? Well, oftentimes because the odds aren't great. I've noticed when I was using my own money versus the bonus bets, the bets that the app wanted to give me were a little bit more risky than the bets I would have just done with my own money, which is helpful, but that just means you're never really getting the $100 that they promise you from your promo code or whatever back to you. They always want to keep that money because as soon as you do hit that bet, it becomes real, something that they don't necessarily want you to have. My next topic is going to be micro betting. Micro betting, if done correctly, could be profitable. Micro betting, long term, not done properly, could be devastating. Oftentimes, it's like bet $1, get $5 back. Bet $5, get $20 back. You bet so low that you don't even really conceptualize how much you're betting over time. because that starts to add up if you're not recouping at least, I'd say, 50% of that money back. And, you know, it's kind of hard when you're doing like a $5 or $1 bet, but if you keep on doing like, I don't know, $10, $20, and you're not making back 5 to 10, you're kind of just spiraling, snowballing, and losing money in a way you would never really see because it's such a low amount. And it's done so simply. You can bet live, hey, bet $1 if this guy goes 5 yards. Hey, bet $1 if this player hits a 3-pointer. Hey, bet $1 if this guy scores a goal. Boom, boom, boom. You're just losing money before you don't even realize. This isn't to say that sports betting isn't a good thing or bad thing. It's something you just got to be careful with. Like many in all things in life, you got to be careful when you do it. You can get really entrapped in thinking that you're doing really well, even though you've never technically won a bet, but you've always been close. You can easily start to feel some type of gratification by even getting close to winning that bet. And heck, I've, like I said, bet $100, and every single one of my bets were that close, whether it was this person didn't get 5 to 10 yards, or this one specific interaction didn't happen in the game. You're always going to be close, but never quite there. This is going to be Zapped Sunday. I hope you liked it. I probably will do a sports bet by the end of this video. I'll tune back in to let y'all know how it goes. And just be careful out there. That's been your boy Zapped. See ya later.